And welcome back on the family series, the 1/72nd scale Royal Australian Air Force conversions, and nothing says more than the Australian Air Force than the the number 6 build, the General Dynamics F-111. The Aardvark is referred to by the Americans, or just the pig as the Australians refer to it, and it's a much loved beast of its own type. And yeah, I've sat in the cockpit in this one. I've done all the trainings on how the ejection systems work and all that on this particular one. So yep, good build. So yep, let's put this one together and see how she comes out. Welcome back to the 72nd scale build that I'm doing for someone near and dear to me. This one is the Teleri F-111, so Aardvark, or as the Australians refer to them as the pigs. This one here isn't its splendour as an American strike force thing, but we won't be doing that because my son, who I'm doing this for, wishes to have it done in the Australian version, and in this particular case he was planning for the F-111 that they did up the 30-year anniversary of service in the Royal Australian Air Force, and it has that depicted on the tail, which I saw one modelled up in 72nd scale or 48 scale in a shop the other day, and it does look brilliant done out that way, to the point which he has pre-purchased, he bought them years ago, the decals that go with that, so that's part of the process. So now, the worst part is that probably these things are about 30 years old too. But yeah, that'll go boom. So that's how big the tail is by comparison to that model. So it's a little bit bigger than that. So, and he started a hand print because he was told that paint the tail, which is double-sided, so she's a one-piece piece, paint the tail white so that that decal really stands out. To me that's cream, so looking at probably a bit of a sand, and he's used enamel like you wouldn't, that's enamel, that's got a gloss on it like you wouldn't believe, so we'll have to do another do on that. And there's another set of no, what was that? Oh, that was 48 scale instructions, so forget that. This is the Teleri ones, which again 40 parts, 1, 2, 3 bits, still all American decaling, and the best part is that I've actually sat in the cockpit of one of those, so at the Australian base where we used to have it. So as I said, he's attempted to start with it. He's done the white in there, but that's not white, and it should be white because it's technically they did it that way. Oh, he's even got the ratchets there for the wing to move. Good. Well, that's a green part, that doesn't even belong there, so that can go in the bin. And let's have a look at that. He's attempted to use a mask thing for the wheels, and fairly basic when it comes to bits. There's got to be one broken off there. Oh no, it's that small, it's that. Okay, that's with the gun sight or something inside. But okay, done. Let's have a shot at putting this together, and it won't be too hard because you've got 4 pieces, and that's the body, The wings, no, that's got to go on the top part, I suppose. I'm going to turn that over. Yep, that fits in there. Where you go? They fit on top of that, but the ratchet part sits inside. There's no top part to that. That's quite strange. Pretty basic cockpit. That 2 seats, instrument panel, and that's her. So, should be another decent build. I'm not going to make any major alterations. This one will be out of the box. And that's all we need for the first bit. Right, so yeah, so once you put that and that together, let's have a look. Once we put that one and that one together, they go inside this bit, and it says 20 grams of nose weight. So we'll be back to, you must highlight that after the caribou incident. And that nose part there will all be just beautiful black, and the rest of it is just beautiful grey. And it's a really dark grey too. Okay, so yeah, that they sit in top of each other. So yeah, a little bit of cleaning, scratch them down up there, and that gives me that part. So that's 3 easy bits. Wings rolled in, stick them in the body. So done. Biggest part to play is that one. So I've sanded it back, taken a lot of the paint off it that was there, back to plastic in some places, then rescribed the lines to get the paint out of there as well, so that when the decal sits on it, they can suck into that and make it look cool. Let's have a look at part 1, which is put all the cockpit together. So basically that is part 1. Let's have a look at part 2. Okay, that's going to be painted white, but the stuff that goes in it, that painted white too. And we've got some numbers. Let's have a look. Almost getting ahead of myself there. I've done all that. I've got to put some reds and some yellow dials in there. I think that'll just break it up. That there, I should have undercoated that just then. Yeah, it's going to be painted white anyway. Which goes into that internal, which is going to be painted all white with all the pieces, and then the tyres go in there. And there's the nose cone sections. They've got their primer coat on it, as has the underneath there, and all that bay there needs to be painted white. So that's the next job, and that's the top of the aircraft, which wings get attached to. So I've gone through and given it a prime coat for most everything there, so just make it easier when I put it together, and then I just have to sand it and touch up the prime coat. So we're ahead of the game. We've got some paint on the plane. And the build progresses. We've got the nose, cockpit, front undercarriage section glued together. So we'll take that apart in a minute. Got some detail in the main landing gear bay, and it's painted white as it should be. And we've got the swing wings glued together. So that's about that. Now that will fit into the pins there on the underside of the upper backbone of the aircraft. So, and spray painted some wheels. We've doing all right. Now I just got to, as you can see, I've scratched that down, just make sure the seams are good on all these things, and we'll move to the next level. Sanded that and scribed it again. I've also scarfed it with the blade actually, and yep, nice point, give it a bit of a sand. And that one there, same with the wings here, because that part sits inside the actual wing, and there's no join in the front. It's a line across there, as is the case with the other one. So that's all been done, sanded and worked up, which is great because now that I've got that coat on, I can tell where things finish and where things don't. Now let's sort out which wing goes where. That's that one. In there. That one in there. Teeth together like that. And we sit in the swing wing configuration, or the full out. Okay. Done. Nice easy movement. Now we just got to make sure we don't get any glue on it when we put, obviously, that over that. Is that the next maneuver? Probably. There. Okay. I'll just have to sand that down a fraction. Check the line on the cast of that. And surely there's a box thing I've got to put together to go there, which will probably help. Which is probably that piece there. Yeah, definitely. That'll give it some structural strength. Good. Okay. Well, 2 more of those. That'll be my component there. Right, drop a little bit in the there holes, put them together, then have a go at things. So I've only got, that could be why it was poking up and not going down. Oh no, not necessarily. Now, which way does it go on? That way. Alright, you can come off. You can come off, you can come off. Wings still work. Oh, right. So, Fred. That's cool. We can leave that like that now. Good. The work there ended up nicely. The dash instrument panel. So I'm very, very pleased with that, and the seat belts and all that, which I didn't use the decals that were not there, but yeah, that's alright. Yet to put this on, so once that tail's finished I can stuff around with this and see how good the fit is, which is not too bad. That should pull in with a clamp. Stab myself in the gut, holding it in position. Yes, that's pretty good. So that's running well. Okay, put it on hold there, and I'll work on what we're doing next. Okay, where did we get up to? Okay, we got swing wings on, front modules on, rear wings are on, and that was a bit of a challenge too, because one, the fitting, the way they've made them to fit is really weird. They clip in, and then because of that they wouldn't stay in the low position. They wanted to fold up in trying to get it on. I've knocked that back off again, and these flew out anyway. So I might, still won't put those in, but they have to be in for me to put that other thing back in the spout again. So that's alright. So we're about tail time, but I don't need to put the tail on as yet, because it's completely different to anything else, and I can just drop it on at the last minute, so that'll work. So that's that. Need to put that back on. That's my primary objective at the moment. Do it again. So it's that way. Which is going to make it work better, super glue, or I always say super glues are probably a little bit brittle. Alright, I'll give it another hit. I think it snapped off because one, it really wasn't set, and two, I was giving that tail section a bit of pressure to pull these wings in, I tell you. Gone too far down. Alright, that's got to set. Okay, what do you do when you're trying to wait for a piece to set? You're going to do something totally different. Okay, and what we're going to do is put bombs together. Where do I put that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. They go on that half there, so someone's got to be cut off, and I think we'll just cut the little funny bits. That's a funny thing, that, yeah. If I put the bombs on those wings, do it in that fashion, but if I put it out like that, they're going to look awful, because they'll be facing, have the wings up, they'll be pointing to it going in. Bugger. So yeah, sort of got to be in one position or the other, which what's the point? Why is this doing this? That presses down there, it needs a bit of pressure on there to make that work properly all the time, by the look of it. Yeah, there. So I wonder if they'll get them to, those the big ones anyway, just sit them in, if I can get them to just sit in and you can spin them. Back in the old day, what we do, talk here, what we do is you put that through there, and have to have a pin long enough, and you then bend it and cup it like a rivet head with a hot blade, smooth it over so that you get a rivet head on it, which means it can turn in the hole, and would have been nicer that way. So now I can't do that because it's on the one. But that was enough. Okay, we've had numerous coats of paint. Undercoat black I used this time, which is a much better way of doing it. And then I did another coat to fix up all this when I did the seams. So we've had sort of like 2 coats of under primer, a good coat of the grey. While that's been playing, a whole stack of parts and pieces, and that are all just ready to go on. So the just done all the underneath there. So engines, bits and pieces, all that there, and then we'll give it its first semi-gloss coat. So coming along exceptionally well. Fit's been good. It's not a bad model actually. Who was it? Put this one together. Italeri. So yeah, pretty good model. about time for murder and mayhem to happen. I've got that, so I have put the undercarriage in, fairly secure. Haven't put the wheels on. I don't want to do that until they're done. Wings still move, which is a plus, and we're about to do that. So yep, as it says, cut them very fine to the line because there's no real spread, so there's going to be a few hours spent doing this, I think. So yep, we'll see what it looks like when we're done. And that is bigger than the tail, even if I put that up there, which is not. So we're going to have to find the right line for that, which is probably going to be go with the back corner edge and the bottom edge and trim off the rest. A little bit there to go. So this is going to be fun. Sharp blade, new knife. Let's have a go. No point you going through the pain with me. I'll stop and show you what it looked like after the fact. Ooh, there's no yellow. Okay. That yellow there is that there, so I'm going to have to paint some yellow on that afterwards because I don't know where it goes, sort of there in the middle of nowhere. It's there for a reason, but there's no lines or anything, so that's done. Alright, leave it with me. Had some fun with these. One, I think they're a little too old, which I was afraid of, and they aren't settling down. As you can see in this here, there's a shine on them, and they're three-dimensional basically. The little, any of the edge clear stuff that you don't snip off is just standing out and making it look bad. So I took off all the ones that I had. This one belongs somewhere here, something like that. I took off all the ones that I had put on and replaced them with a paint liner. So extra fine 0.7 mils. If they'd have got a lesser one, that probably would have been even better because it's 72nd scale. In a bigger scale, it probably would show up nicely. But yeah, paint and progress down the lines that they're that. I think it's not perfect, but it's a hell of a lot better than this effect, which I'm doing. There's the numbers 2 here, those ones there that shine. I've painted the yellow in there, which is good. But the RAAF emblem there is patchy. The one underneath the window here is a bit four-dimensional. So go on with that instead. So I've still got a tray of these to put in, and I think I'll put in the important ones, which are the numbers and some of the other specifics, and maybe where the letters and the refill caps or function caps are or something like that. So I'll have a look at what I've got and what's there, because really they're not doing justice to the paintwork at all. So alright, that's what we're going to do. So now is just put a few of these things on, the bits and pieces around the place that need to go on, and I don't think I'll put all of these on. It's just the ones that really need to be there, that look for function, which leaves me in doubt as to these is how they're going to go, and that'll be absolute fun, I think, putting those on. So Yep, we'll do that now and get back to you when we're about to put the tail on. By that time it should have its matte coat on it, which will finish and seal that down. So we're nearly there, but it's just and because I haven't got the other decals, they'll be even older. So this is a 1991 or 3 or something like model. So right, I think I have wheels on, matte coat down. I'll put on as many of those decals as I like, but you look at them, they've got that silvering effect to them. They are, I think they're just too old. They're printed on the file, so we've got it all tucked into the swept wing position. I've still got to do the tail and put that stickers on, but you can see the exhaust nozzles are looking schmick with the gap in it, and one impressively made up cockpit with all the switches, gauges and illuminations. So that's it, that's ready for the canopy to go on, which is what we'll do next. Right, we have canopies in. I would have liked to have them in the outer position, but the line of that is flat and that is curved and it wouldn't sit and seat, so it didn't get done. Anyway, that's that part. So that's tucked away, folded in, put to bed. The tail. They are two big massive decals when you look at it, when you think that's under that, and that's going to go right there when it dry, and it's a little over on the sides at the moment, so I've got to trim that. I'm waiting for it to set. I doubt if it's going to set too well. Look at this, there's even peeling off now. Given it a dose of microsol, but I didn't put set underneath it because basically it's paper. And even that there's making this come off. It's just flopped out there. The tail part here is the same. So that's that, and the front's cool. And there's just a little bit at the front here on this side, so yeah, doubt whether the sole's going to do much for me, in the fact that this being a printable paper, not a proper decal, it's probably, they call it a decal, it's printed on a printer obviously. But drop that on your toe and see what happens. Oh yeah, first thing you want to do is pick it up. Don't pick it up by the fin. I'm going to leave that naked without a protective coat of flat sheen. It's come up alright, it's sitting in there, it's actually vertical on the plane, so that's cool. So the last thing now is to do is one pair of them, one nip at that, throw that in there. We have one small job, which is throw some stuff in there and see how we go. I probably should have done it. Ugh. That's right, give it another hit. Going left. Right, it's pointing in the right direction. It's in the right direction. Therefore, it must be a plane of the right direction. So we'll call that the 1/72nd scale F-111 Australian version, 30-year veteran celebration of the show. It's got the lights, it's got the shows, it's got the whole thing done as best we can. So it might be time to put it on its mount. Where's the back? That there, so it can't go past that. It's going to fit there, like that. There, we can't have that. It's going to go forward to there, like that. Alright. That's how she's going to sit on display. We'll show you some pictures of that in the aftermath. Now, I have purposely not glued these things on, in the fact that if you have the wing in this position, they need to be aligned as one would expect that way. When the wing goes in the fold back position, if you want to display it in the fold back position, which on the ground is not really normal, it's usually out, these should be able to just rotate within the hole without gluing them. So what we're going to do is there, roll him in the clover, fit him in the pin. Try that again later, but you get the concept. And we've got the nose pin on, which is supposedly silver. We've got the bomb load ready. We've got the wings in the right spot. And tactically, I didn't have to put... Yeah, that's perfect. I didn't have to put any weight in the nose, even though they did recommend 20 grams, which would be a fair bit of weight. So, there we have it. Okay. Bomb loaded, And the anti-flare thingos, whatever they are, they're in there as well. One F-111 pig. Aardvark if you're an American. Right. The only real issue is the fact that we're sitting out here running on the tarmac, fully loaded up, but there's no pilot nor co-pilot in that aircraft. But we can live with that. Okay. It sort of looks like one of them.